Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined by my co-host, Kevin
Hello.
and Brett.
What's up? I'm Brett, and I'm here with my dogs. Let's go. Come on.
If you've watched our other coverage, including what did we do earlier, Brett? For Brett loving Brett, the Circle, Brett supporting Brett. So check out our previous video to this, the Circle Week 1 coverage, where Brett professed his love for another guy named Brett, and then was upset when said Brett may or may not have gotten eliminated. We're going to talk the challenge, though. Ride or Dies, episode 12, Frenemy of the State. I'm gonna laugh. This one is classic. This is right on Reality Guys' point. The first bullet point I had on here for the entire episode. Mariah is worried she can't trust Fessy and that he's just using her for his own gain. No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, I'm surprised it took her this long, but well, it probably hasn't. Now she's just voicing up because it's like come down to it, and she's like, really? I like how she just called him straight up about it. Like, dude, yeah, of course you want me to help, but you didn't help me at all last week, dick.
I hate to say it, and like we'll talk further later on the episode about the eliminations and how things play out and the targeting, etc. But like Fessy's playing good, man. He is playing good right now, and it's like he is actively playing a good level every week. Doesn't seem to be getting too emotionally charged, even when the stuff goes down later. I mean, we have a preview for next week, and I'm curious to see how much of a rise he gets out of Mariah's actions from this week. But as much as I pain to say, like playing a solid game so far. In my
Is he? In what way? So I know Bananas at one
blowing
point.
up his own game by he's not being his own worst enemy so far this season.
That's true.
I mean, I don't
Which
know.
has been a downfall of the previous 3 seasons he's been on.
Think about even how we see the dynamic play out tonight with like the Nelson relationship. Like that could have been a really sour, horrible. A lot of that goes on Nelson for how he decided to like just like make amends. But like again, like I think in a way he's not getting in his own way. He didn't really challenge that situation too much. He kind of let it come to him. I think in past seasons maybe pokes the bear a little bit too much. And you know, we kind of made the joke early in the season about him hooking up with a bunch of girls and being messy fessy. Again, it doesn't seem like it's phasing him as much. Again, we still have time. Again, we're trying to be fair and objective here. So I will give like, you know, my props when I do think he isn't actually blowing his own game up for once. So far.
All this proves is that there's not enough alcohol going down.
They're not drinking nearly enough this season.
They're not doing enough to sabotage anything.
That's true.
Next point I have here, guys. Devin trying to unite and rally his fractured team. The reason I bring this up was the you're a dog, you're a dog, you're a dog, and I'm a dog line.
The dogs? Yeah, let's go. I paused that. And I was like, I got. What did they do? The underdog? I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah.
This also then led into Ballin playing. I mean, again, the challenge always has the best music tracks by far.
Oh, I know. We fly high. Yeah, dude. I saw that. I was like, oh, hell yeah. They do always have the best soundtracks.
Always the best music. Solid mix of like deep throwbacks and then even like say 10 to 15 years ago that'll hit our hearts like, you know, old guys.
They do never play like really, really recent songs. There's no like
the rights to
there's no yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. They probably do.
They probably have some kind of good agreement with the artists and things like that. The weekly challenge. This one was interesting. It's a variation of something we've seen before, obviously, on the challenge. This one was called Chop or Drop. You had to drop in on the targets. You would start in, you had to grab the hanger, fly in. I'll have the photos on here. You have to drop in on the targets when after you're hanging from the helicopter. The further you go, the targets are worth more. However, the targets are smaller. Wherever you land, you have to hit the water and then swim to the final dock. It's a combined points. And then if you tie on the points, the tiebreaker is the time. So I thought the teams did well, both teams. The real stark difference here, and I want your guys' opinion on this. Do you think that it ended up working out for Jordan's team? But like, I don't really see it. I was a swimmer, like a lifeguard, literally. I don't see how going back and trying to help drag the other people swimming would make it faster. In my opinion, there's no way it makes you faster. And I would argue they probably would have comfortably won if he didn't go back and do that stupid shit. In my opinion, do you really think he was pulling them like
I think that their arms stopped working. So when you swim, the first thing to fatigue is your shoulders and your arms. So I think at a certain extent, the girls probably fatigued and didn't want to move their arms anymore. So by holding on to Jordan, all they had to do was kick, which is better than not moving. So like if Jordan's swimming and they're kicking, that's better than them basically like kicking and just like doing nothing with their arms.
I mean, again, TJ said that's what the kicker was. This is one I have a hard time believing. This is one where I feel like because they went and did the right thing, the producers may have fudged it. Just saying.
The fact that it was 2 seconds apart, I don't know if I believe that.
I don't think any of the other challengers are like keeping a timer, or they have like some big. Again, I want to know this. Did they have like a big timer up, like that we don't see on screen, that like so that everyone knows it's all on the up and up? I don't think so.
No, they definitely don't. But I don't know. They would show Jordan pushing, and they'd push like 3 inches. It's not like he was like gaining much fucking speed out of them. I'm with you on that, but
my conspiracy hat, Reality Guys branded conspiracy hat.
Well, either way, I loved the challenge when it started with the different points for dropping in the different zones, and then I hated it by the end because they all hit the hardest zones.
I was just gonna say, I knew you would hate this.
Like I loved the concept, but the fact that it was so easy that they just nailed the hard ones pissed me off. So it became a swimming challenge.
It says a lot about the difficulty of it if everybody just nails it.
I wanted Brett to be like, you should have been able, if you're on the other team, to be on a platform and like tackle them midair and get a shot to take them out so they can't land.
After watching it, the helicopter should have been like 4 times higher so that they drop
4 times higher.
And they whiff. Like the pink zone is really small.
That's a big
drop. Like it usually is. And they missed, or they should have had the opportunity to miss, but instead they were barely hanging over it and just went straight into it.
Yeah, not a single person missed, which was
not a single person missed, but 2 of them I for sure thought, oh, they definitely missed. I think they gave them a couple that just like landed on it.
I think Nelson hit the actual pink banners in the water.
Right, it counts.
But they counted it. And then I saw somebody was holding on. I later saw it was Jordan. He had like the crooks of his arms. He was like doing this on the bar.
So he was just like a little bit lower even.
One hand.
So I was like, who the hell would do it like that? Like that's gotta hurt.
One hand.
And Jordan did it the whole way through. So I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna try to hang like that and see if it works.
Oh my god, we need a TikTok of this.
Well, if we're talking about hanging, we have to talk about Nelson and how he just got up and picked the wrong way and was just spinning around the entire time. He's like kicking Fessy to try and get himself like
he's using him as his face.
And Fessy's seriously like, dude, what the fuck, man?
So Team Underdog wins. Which was nice. It was nice to see something change, a little change up, but nice to see the other team actually have to squirm. We had Operation Save Chauncey, which I thought was very funny. There was it was written out on the piece of paper. But they kind of figured that the best chance to save Chauncey would be Bananas.
I want to put a notion out there, and we stop calling Chauncey and refer to him as Michael C. Jordan.
I like that. That's fine. Michael C. Jordan. Just like a little lower.
Just lower. He's like right there. He looks much like him.
He does look like him.
This was Devin. That was funny. Side conversation. Devin and Jordan talk about wanting to set up Fessy versus Nelson. Breaks up one of the pairs, leaves the other person basically out to dry on the next men's elimination. If that happens, really not a bad thing overall. I think sound strategy. You got to take out the good guys when you get the shot.
Yeah, I like the whole strategy behind Devin masterminding that save Chauncey thing, like you said, to gain favor with Amber, and then also like the whole plan to break up the pairs. And then we had Devin talking to Jordan. So I like Jordan and Devin are 2 of my favorite players. So having them like kind of mastermind the whole thing was great.
Same.
Okay, guys, this is the thing I have starred. I wish Brian was on here for this week.
Why?
Because of Tori.
Oh, yeah.
Because of Tori, guys. I'm historically a big Tori guy. Everyone knows this. Not like a fanboy, but the connections of the geography, and I generally just thought she's always been a good player. She did this She did this last year. Very lightly with Devin, threatening their friendship if he didn't do a vote a certain way. I know the stuff has been up and down with Jordan, but her coming up and saying your decision on this mid-game episode 12 elimination random draw pick will affect our relationship, and I need you to know how it feels. And I respect him that on the spot was like, you're telling me our real life relationship will be affected by this. Okay, cool. Puts it right back in her face, and then has the line of all lines when we go in for the nomination before his vote. I do not negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
I don't blame him. That's a tough, that's a crappy thing to do, I think, honestly, right? Am I wrong?
I actually forgot that she did that last season too.
That's a very good point.
I mean, it pissed me off.
I don't remember. The whole time that when Jordan was on the bicycle and she was preaching to him, I was like, who the hell does she want him to save? Because I didn't even know who at this. Well, I had no idea. I was like, well, Devin and Jordan are your two dudes, and they're on the other team. So who the fuck do you want to be saved on your team?
Her cup.
And then clearly it was Fessy because Jordan had the whole terrorist pitch and then put Fessy in.
The terrorist pitch.
Yes. So why does she want Fessy to be safe? That's the dude.
He's their best guy.
Don't work out. Jordan still fuck Fessy.
Well, besides that part, Kevin, but if we're talking in game, Brett, the answer is that he is their best male on their team. So Tori's like, can you do us a solid and not automatically throw in our best guy?
Right.
I don't know why they're worried. Honestly, I don't think Fessy at this point is going to lose to any of the dudes on his team right now. Straight up. Like, I really don't. I mean, today was a puzzle and physical anyway. What?
With that challenge, like, especially.
Oh, my God, yeah. You think definitely Bananas, even though he might be, like, smarter, he's just not going to throw them chains around and beat.
Right.
Fessy was just monstering that stuff out. He was behind by, like, 2 at one point, and it wasn't even, like, an issue. Then it was just, like, bang, bang, bang. What?
I think this challenge is kind of a crapshoot for who would win it. I mean, Fessy doesn't appear to be that strong. He's obviously a large person, but per his body height, size, he doesn't appear to be overly strong.
I just think he's relatively athletic still, you know, as far as cardio and like functional strength too. For stuff like the challenge, maybe not in a sense of like lifting or like, you know, if you're going to go to the stats, but I do think these kind of activities does lean to like a different type of strength too, like combined strength. But again, that's why I would like to, honestly, as much as it sounds crazy, I would like to see a couple more like big dudes on, right? I would like to see like how does Fessy size up against like, even CT. There was other guys that have been on the challenge in the last 3-4 seasons that are like big dudes. Yeah, we know, Brett, but like
let's go, Fessy. I'm calling you out. Let's do it.
We need to get like,
he's
we need these
like
promo videos going. Just having Brett cut wrestling promos. The elimination. Anyway, I don't want to skip the dagger. Chauncey, Michael C. Jordan pulls the safe dagger, saves Bananas. So it was kind of the reverse of what the Operation Save Chauncey was, but it ends up being Operation Save Bananas. So good for Bananas.
Do we buy that? Do we buy that, or is this another production ploy?
No, I buy that. No, I bought it. I think that made sense on Chauncey's end too. If you either one of Nelson and Fessy going, you get to the next male elimination. The other guy is just left floating. Basically, it's an insurance policy that gets you guys another couple of weeks, hopefully. Just
at this point, I hate the daggers. I cannot stand them. They
won't be back.
To me, it just screams production manipulation. Like it seems obvious that like, oh, hey, let Bananas pull first. Oh, Bananas didn't pull it. Oh, shock. Hey, Chauncey, the guy that's going to save Bananas. Let's tell him where the dagger is on the right side. He's going to pick it, and he's going to save Bananas.
Or at least that gives him a 50-50 shot opposed to like it gives Bananas like 33% instead of 50-50%.
TJ Lavin, you are always welcome to come on to the show, and we want answers. And then
he's not going to give an answer, even if we're right. He's not going to tell us the truth.
Dude, we need to get Nelly on. I think we could get Nelly on if we hit him up.
I
don't think anyone's going to tell the truth because they get called back for the show. Like it's in their best interest.
It is.
Plus, they may not know. The only people that are going to know are Chauncey, Bananas, and Nani, because those are the only 3 people that would have been told in the production office that what's happening.
Why Nani?
Or they may not even have told Chauncey and just been like, hey, like they might have gotten information that Chauncey's going to pick Bananas and just told him where it was anyways.
That's sinister. The elimination was spearheaded. I do want to make sure we throw the information out. 9 spears in a large cube that are tangled by metal chains. You have to untangle the chains, release the spears, and then once you have all 9 spears out, you win. Nelsie versus Fessy, competitive, but as we've already talked about here, Fessy sending Nelson home for the 2nd straight season. The way she rolls, boys. Sometimes I feel bad for Nelly. Nelly is one of our favorites here on the Reality Guys. I think he's got to come back with a different gameplay next year. He's got to just be a little more selfish.
I think this episode they gave him the Corey curse.
Yeah, Corey, don't show up and talk to people.
And then
I thought based on how much Nelson,
I make fun of how passionate he is, but at the end of the day, he is one of my faves.
I thought Nelson might win this season just because they kept somehow incorporating him into every episode.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that didn't happen. So
like I'm gonna be
pissed. They did that with would they do that? They did that with Leroy last year. Like they made it seem like it was like Leroy's season. He went all the way throughout, and then like it's eliminated. You're like, all right, dude. Yeah, like Jesus. They've had a lot of people. We could have a whole side discussion on like the people they've featured a lot, but there's also some of the usual suspects. So a lot more to talk about there. Overall, guys,
they should put in favorites like Leroy, Nelson.
Well, Leroy, I mean,
versus rookies like me. Like, hey, they can beat rookies like me, so let's give it a shot.
How many times has Brett pitched himself already this week? So like 4 or 5. It's not too bad actually.
Favorites versus Young Man.
We're on a good pace.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought it was a good week, guys. Overall, I think the season is. I don't really love the team stuff, but the part I do like about the teams is that it has forced some of these like bigger players to be like under the cooker of like there's a high percentage you're going in if you lose. So that part I do like.
The one thing we did find out though is that you like we kind of speculated on it before is that if the other ride or die is still in, you're good.
Yeah,
I thought that, or at least like that. I mean, I guess we still don't know if there's like going to be a final race that they can come back and race in, but
I don't think they envisioned when they first envisioned this that like the first 2 people out would have been ride or dies and that part would be eliminated. There'd be nobody hanging. Their production's probably like, God damn it.
Well,
like,
no, there is. There's what's her face? Nani's girlfriend's brother still.
Kenny is still in the game.
Depending on what I guess happens still. I mean, like a lot of dirty shit could go down. There's a lot of stuff that can go down that like pisses somebody off. And they're like, well, you didn't have my back here.
I do agree.
And like obviously, like if it was like last week, but whoever sent in Amber or whoever sent in Reese, you know, I don't know.
I do agree that I think we're going to go back to the ride or dies at some point. That's the whole point of the season. I think in the challenge, if there's people back, there's going to have something to do with the ride or dies. I agree. Running out of time on the session. I do think this was a good week overall. I am looking forward to the next few weeks, especially with like the numbers getting lower. We're going to start seeing the heavy hitters in the eliminations, which is my favorite part of the season, is like the middle third where we start to actually see the heavy hitters go head to head. Tonight was kind of our first real taste of that.
I agree.
Okay, cool.
I look forward to it.
No, I think it's gonna be good, like overall good ending. I'm very curious of the structure of the finale, etc. But obviously we're not gonna have any idea on that until we get closer. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We have a lot of good coverage this week. Everything from the circles first week to obviously here at the challenge. We also are keeping up with. What else are we keeping up with right now?
The Kardashians.
No, not the Kardashians, but starting in January, we do have The Bachelor back. We have Married at First Sight. Then, like I said, challenge continues. Jersey Shore comes back in January as well. So honestly, a ton of stuff on the channel for us all to cover and grow the community. So for myself, Kevin, Brett, and maybe his future challenge self, thank you. Peace.
Put me on. Put me on.
Put me on.
I want to kill Fessy.